You and I, we're not scared of zombies anymore. We've been playing the game for so long, over all of these years, we're used to it, but there was a time when 10-year-old Timmy picked up the controller and hopped onto Verrückt. If there was one map that slipped its way into your nightmares, it was Verrückt. The Wittenau Sanatorium, an insane asylum located in Berlin, Germany, would be used as a Group 935 facility. Tank Dempsey, along with 3 other Marines, were sent to the asylum to safely extract Peter McCain, only to find the place overrun by zombies. These soldiers fight for their very lives in what seems like an endless wave of the undead. The desolate building can be found in dense wilderness, far from the rest of society. And if that didn't make you feel alone and hopeless, well, you were spawned in a different room than your friends. You'd fight your way to the power switch, where you'd link up with your buddies and try your very best to survive. This new power switch would activate several new features, some of the most prominent innovations in zombies to date. 4 Perca-Colas were introduced: Quick Revive, Double Tap Root Beer, Speed Cola, and Juggernog. Jug increasing your health, Speed Cola increasing your hand speed, Double Tap improving your fire rate, and Quick Revive allowing you to revive your teammates faster. The new Electric Trap would make a seemingly impossible high round attempt plausible. And the Mystery Box was no longer fastened to one location. It would constantly move around upon getting a teddy bear, which indicated you were spinning the box too many times. This change would make players feel a little less secure than they were on Nocturne and Toten. The map is sizable, but very condensed, very close quarters. You got hallways that are 1 or 2 zombies wide. There aren't many good training spots at all, and there are a couple good camping spots, but with barriers next to them that prove very difficult. The map forces you to pay very close attention to your techniques. You can't mindlessly train until round 200. You have to use every last resource, and every movement makes a difference. Clearly, since it's a World at War map, it's a very simple map, very straightforward, not hard to set up at all, but it's very difficult for the high rounds. It was an amplified version of Nocturne and Toten. It had the bare necessities, but with adding a few things. It gave you a bit of breathing room and tossed you a couple bones. When developing Nocturne and Toten, Treyarch had no idea zombies was going to become so popular, so they didn't think big picture, but when developing Verrückt, knowing that it had a chance to get somewhere, they stepped up quite a bit and made the first genuine zombies map. Many people enjoy the gameplay of Verrückt, especially for its challenge. The only notable weapons you've got are the ray gun with tons of splash damage and a couple LMGs. It's a map that sharpens your skills, forces you to think outside the box, and puts you out of your comfort zone. Whether or not you like Verrückt's gameplay, the atmosphere is certainly noteworthy. Verrückt is the single scariest zombies map to date. There are some heavy competitors. You've got maps like Mob of the Dead, Nocturne and Toten, Shinonuma, Zetsubo to a certain extent. Kino's definitely got that vibe as well, but when I say that Verrückt is the scariest, I mean it. Zombies in general is supposed to be scary, but some maps don't shoot for that vibe. A map like Shangri-La or Der Eisendrache, just to name a couple, they go for beauty. Verrückt is a truly disturbing and horrific map. And again, as an 18-year-old, it no longer phases me, but when I was a young lad, it was unnerving to say the least. Right off the bat, I would say being in an insane asylum is uncomfortable, and on top of this, it's a Group 935 research facility, meaning they experimented on these mentally insane people, tortured them, abused them, killed them. The Element 115 would ultimately turn these patients into the zombies, and so the bare concept of what this map is already bone-chilling, but it's the small details of Verrückt that make it truly horrific. The screaming of the dying and suffering patients are echoed throughout the entire map, even small children shrieking. And I didn't notice this until very recently. There is this really disturbing carnival music. The audio clips on this map are nothing short of terrifying, and even if you had the volume off, visually this map is still creepy. The building is worn down and weathered, there's rubble everywhere, there's gallons of blood all over the floor, smeared all over the walls, you can see handprints, there's fire, there are chopped off limbs all around the map, and in the kitchen there's a butcher's knife surrounded by cut off fingers and all these body parts. It's just so horrible. Most other zombies maps are bleak and eroded environments that you can point out and say, yeah, yeah, that's fucking creepy. But Verrückt takes it to a whole new level. Nocturne and Toten is very similar. It's super creepy with the fog all around the map and the zombies just slowly easing in towards you. Verrückt is sort of like that, except it puts blood all over the map and it puts fire all over the map, has these incomprehensible hieroglyphics written all over the walls, and chopped up dead people. The aura surrounding this map sends shivers down my spine. And the fact that it's a World of War map makes this all the creepier because it's a worse engine, it's worse graphics, so it's not as clean as a modern zombies map, so everything feels much more grainy. There isn't this giant cinematic music going on. It's very silent, aside from the screaming and the occasional offbeat music. This realistic setting captures you and scares you. The map was remastered twice, and I would say in each upcoming installment would become a little less scary, but largely, I think it kept that atmosphere. It was remastered in Black Ops 1 in the Resurrection Pack when purchasing Moon, along with the other World at War maps, and with that version, some new features would be added, the Monkey Bombs and the Winter's Howl, along with Mule Kick. And in the Black Ops 3 Zombies Chronicles remaster, you were given a Wonder Fizz machine, which gave you access to all of the perks, along with a Ray Gun Mark II and a Wonder Waff. Verrückt was reimagined in Revelations and in Blackout, titled Asylum. The more the map evolved, the less scary it got, and of course, the older we got, the less scary it got. But if we're talking about the classic World at War Verrückt, man, this is it. When walking around the map and observing your surroundings, you see how screwed up it is now, but you can also see and imagine how screwed up it was when it was actually happening, when the people were actually there being experimented on. Verrückt is such a unique map, not only in terms of its atmosphere, but the map design itself. It's not perfectly symmetrical like a lot of maps. Yes, there are two sides that link to the power in the middle, but the two halves of the map aren't identical. There are some different style rooms, there are some different sized rooms, and when a map doesn't feel entirely symmetrical, it kind of throws you off, which is one of the qualities that makes you feel uncomfortable on this map. You'll notice in a lot of modern zombies maps, they're entirely symmetrical, entirely predictable, and it doesn't surprise you, but on a lot of older maps, like Verrückt, it's a little different. The map design isn't a mirror, you know, there are two unique sides. And another thing that makes Verrückt's gameplay so unique is the fact that you spawn in different rooms. If one person is alone on one side and goes down, they're gonna bleed out. You have to fight your very hardest to get to the power in order to open up the entire map. Otherwise, you're not gonna be seeing your buddies at all. It's a very simple concept, but it makes the entire game feel unique and interesting. You have to earn the right to play alongside your friends. Granted, it's not very hard to get to the power at all. You probably could get it done before round 5. But that's why it's so cool. It's unique and simple. And again, makes you feel isolated, uncomfortable, outside of the norm. That, along with the atmosphere and the lore behind the map. Verrückt is a terrifying experience. And a fun experience. Now, Verrückt is a controversial map. A lot of people dislike it because of how difficult it is, but a lot of people do enjoy the challenge. It's nowhere near my favorite map, but I personally don't mind it too much. Whether or not you like it, I think we can all agree that it is at least a top 3 scary map of all time, and in my opinion, the scariest map of all time. And it did a lot of unique things and a lot of things well that I think Treyarch should look at when developing future maps. If they're going for a scary vibe, take a look at Verrückt. Take a look at what that map did. Analyzing these World at War maps are a little tricky because of the lack of content in them. Sure, they're all great maps, but they're very, very basic. It's hard to talk about a map like this for more than 10 or 20 minutes. And so that is going to conclude the analysis of Verrückt. Guys, let me know your thoughts on Verrückt down below in the comments section. What did you like about it? What did you dislike about it? Tell me your thoughts. Guys, leave a like on this video if you enjoyed and subscribe so you don't miss next Sunday's episode. Next episode is going to be Shino Numa, and then we're going to go to Darius and continue on. The further up we get on this list of zombies maps, obviously the longer and the more in-depth we're going to go. Shout out to Claystar for some of the World at War gameplay since I don't feel like buying the DLCs again. His link will be in the description. I hope you have the best week of your life, and I gotta go, so catch you later.